Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, X-Wing players, and anyone who is potentially interested in X-Wing. Welcome to our channel. My call sign is BatMando. If you are new to this game or just getting back into this game, then this is the place to be. This is a channel dedicated to the pilots and boosting your pilot skills for anyone who plays X-Wing miniatures game. So, in which case, the topic for today is going to be tournament etiquette. So it is one of those unspoken things at a tournament that some new players don't know what is expected of them, but the older players expect them to know what's expected of them. So we finally decided, you know what, it is time to do a video that talks about the do's and don'ts of tournament gameplay. Now, if you are just a casual player, then by all means, feel free to watch the rest of this video in the event that you ever decide to enter into a store competition. If you are a competitive player, then you probably know these things, and I'm going to ask that you drop us a comment about something that either A, you heavily agree with, or B, that I did not include in this video. So, in which case, let's go ahead and talk about the main difference between casual play and competitive play. In casual gameplay, when you are playing with your friends, mistakes can be made and they can be taken back. So like, you activate and then you activate the second ship and you forgot to do the focus on the first, then it's casual. Ask your friend across the mat if they're okay with it. Some of the rules are relaxed at that point in time because it's casual gameplay. However, in competitive gameplay, rules are a lot more stringent, ladies and gentlemen, because they have to be. If you miss a trigger or a step, then the game resumes without it. So, for instance, if you forgot to focus up at the time that you were supposed to focus up, then I'm sorry, you do not get a focus for that particular action. Now, this does not include the things that must happen, such as recovering force or some action that takes place on a crit card. So, in which case, distinguish the may from the must. If it says that you must do this at any point in time, you cannot skip that trigger. So for instance, let's say that one of the crit cards there is console fire. You cannot skip that action. That has to be done. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our next slide, which is before you even leave to go to the store to play the game, you may want to do a pre-flight checklist. So, for instance, check your gear. So, I know that some of us have all of the material, but make certain that all your material is tournament legal. As in, make certain that you have the official cards, as in they must have been purchased through one of the packs distributed by AMG or some of the older cards as well. So, alternate art cards are not tournament legal. We know that we like them. Sometimes they're even given away as prizes, but alternate art cards are not tournament legal and you cannot take them to a tournament. So, movement templates, those movement templates must have a center line down each template. So if you have some older templates that do not have a center line to show where your base should match up with the template, then you need to look into getting new templates or still using the cardboard ones that come out of the starter kits. All right, then third-party dice are not allowed. So you must use proper AMG dice, the red and green. So, in which case, please make certain that everything that you have brought your gear is tournament legal. Now, let's talk about energy management as well. Tournament days are long days. They may start at 10 in the morning, as in registration, then finally getting dice at 11. And then they can last anywhere to, say, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., even later, depending on what style tournament or how big the tournament is, as in number of people, and then finals and everything else. So what I would recommend is stay hydrated. Bring water. I'm also going to say bring snacks or some kind of sack lunch because some stores have a break for you scheduled in and some don't. One of my friends also recommended that you eat healthy and try to get some of those kind bars. And in which case, I'm also going to tell you that you may not want to load up too much on sugar so that you can avoid the sugar crash. So again, some stores have a break scheduled in for their tournaments, but not all of them. So now, ladies and gentlemen, you are on a clock. You need to be considerate of game time, especially of your opponent's game time. So please bring a quick setup. Have all your materials set in a timely manner. Be at your table on time. Some games may need the full time of tournament to finish. Manage your bathroom breaks. This sounds like a silly thing, but there are players that will wait till the absolute last second before time begins or after time begins, and then they have to go. So in which case, manage your bathroom breaks. We understand it. Everybody needs to go, but you don't need to go the second that's the turn or that the game time begins. So, time and place. There is a time and place for casual curiosities. In other words, like you could be in the middle of a game and you want to see if that move would have fit. In other words, like you did a 3 hard, but you really wanted to see if the 2 hard would have fit. This is not the time and place for that. That's for casual. So, same thing with this is no time to check and see if a shot was actually in range. So, you're on a clock and every second of that game really counts because there have been plenty of games that I've been in where an extra minute or any number of seconds could have determined a change in the game. So, now, during the game, you need to make certain that you follow all the rules. Yep, keep all the phases in order. If you forget your action and it is time for shots, there's no going back to focus up or evade or whatever it is. There is a difference between may and must actions. So, for instance, if you forgot to redo your force, as in like you're supposed to do that during systems, but you didn't, then you need to go ahead and go back and put that force back to where it needs to be. All right, you cannot check arc until it is time to engage. So if you want to go ahead and check range for your target lock, you are more than welcome to do that, but it is not time to check arc to see if you can actually engage the target. So you can't change your dial after activation has begun. And these are just a few that I can think of off of the top of my head that you definitely need to follow the rules on. So there is going to be a link in the video description that actually has AMG's Tournament Regulations Handbook. So you definitely want to read through that if you have not already done so. Now, let's talk about things on the mat. Fingers are clumsy at times. I get it. I got shaky hands. I'm certain that many people do. And if you knock something over accidentally or move a ship accidentally, then let the owner place it back within reason to its original spot. Move your dials or move only your dials and your ships. If you need to move a ship out of the way to complete your maneuver, ask permission before moving it or have the opponent move it for themselves. If you also notice that there's going to be some kind of interaction that may need a third-party witness, in other words, like placing of a ship or seeing if a barrel roll clears, all of the different kind of interactions that may require a third-party witness, call a judge over. So it's so much easier for a judge to actually make a call based off of what they see rather than make a call off of what they are being told after the fact. So now, if there is a big mistake or disagreement over something, call a judge over. The judges are there to help. And by the way, the judge's call is final. So, again, there's a time and place to argue certain things, but on the clock is not one of those times. All right. So, thank you for listening at this point in time. I understand this is a little bit, how shall I say, dense and not exactly the most exciting material. So we have another video to follow up this one to show all the silly things that should not be done during a competitive game. So Forest Ranger and myself went ahead and put it together. We hope you enjoy it. Click like on our videos, subscribe to our future transmissions, and we very much appreciate you coming back. If you need any resources, these are the online resources that we leave the links to in every video description. Thank you, thank you, thank you for supporting us. Follow us on Instagram, search me up on Facebook, drop us a comment. If there's a rule that I left out or a, how shall I say, pet peeve of yours during a tournament that you want to share with our audience, please go ahead and put it down there. So, watch the oncoming video with the wonderful, fun music that we've included. And as always, BatMando out.